Welcome back to Smithwell Stadium here in Jackson, Mississippi, the site of the 2012 Mississippi High School Activities Association State Championships. I'm Josh West. Lewisburg High School Patriots against the Purvis High School Tornadoes, a pair of 24-win teams, a Lewisburg team that has won 12 games in a row, a Purvis team that has won 15 out of 16. Lewisburg disposed of Lafayette in 2 games. It was a Purvis team that was able to sweep a West Lauderdale team with 12 state championships in their hip pocket, and we are off and running. First pitch of this game comes in, high and away, a fastball outside. On the mound, it is Joe Barrett, a record of 9-1. He went a complete game in his last outing against West Lauderdale, an earned run average of 1.77, and he deals a fastball on the inside corner to even the strike. Lowell Haney leading things off, the second baseman for Lewisburg here in the top of the first inning, followed by Rudy Martin and Tanner Dinsford. Dinsford will battle against Barrett in the bottom of the frame. Dinsford getting the start on the mound for Lewisburg. As we transition from Haney to Martin, we'll get you the batting order for Lewisburg as we're off and running. 2-1 pitch and a check swing and a called strike. For Barrett, a guy who is not going to overpower you, but a guy who is going to come in. He's going to mix up his pitches, fastball, curveball, changeup. He'll throw a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer, and he deals inside, a called strike 3. And so we see Lowell Haney going down looking on strikes. Going back to our first game of this entire tournament, last game, we saw a dominant pitching performance from Nanawaya's Colby Eves, a 12-strikeout performance to pick up his 8th win of this season. And as we're off and running in this game, we're going to be joined by a lot of people. We're going to be joined by Rick Cleveland at the bottom of the first inning. And Hill Denson is back floating around. We're going to try to get Hill Denson in the second inning. So it should be a lot of fun. We'll have a lot of great interviews here to start this ball game as Rudy Martin stands in, the starting center fielder. The pitch on the way, fought off. And that one sharply hit towards that Lewisburg dugout. It's quickly 0-2 to Rudy Martin. Tanner Dinsford bats third. Tanner Lord in the cleanup spot. Dalton Todd, the catcher, who is signed with UL Monroe, bats fifth. Then Gabe Brown, Hunter Wilson, Chris Taylor, and Aaron Baker, the batting order. Swing and a miss on an off-speed curveball. And so there's swing and a miss, and Martin goes down swinging on strikes. And we are seeing the best of Joe Barrett so far. So Rick Cleveland will join us as we transition from the top of the frame to the bottom of the frame. The now executive director of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, just right across the parking lot here at Smithwell Stadium, as Tanner Dinsford fights off the first pitch that he sees. And so it is 0-1 to Tanner Dinsford. Quick start to this ball game. 2 outs, bases empty, ground ball hit up to short. Farrell's got it on a Lambeth, and a 1-2-3 top of the first inning. 6-3 put out retires Dinsford, and so go the Patriots in the top of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. So as we look at the bottom of the first inning for Purvis, it'll be Phillip Lott, Hunter Holcomb, Logan Farrell, 1, 2, and 3. Lloyd Lambeth, then Josh Ross McElhenney batting fifth. That's a mouthful, McElhenney. Then Chris Aiken batting sixth. Then Tyler Kitchens, Lane Ratliff, and Nathan Roseberry. And as we get moving into the bottom of the first inning, I welcome into my right Rick Cleveland, longtime columnist for the Clarion Ledger, fellow Southern Miss Golden Eagle, and now executive director of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. And Rick, I loved what you said when I met you on the concourse. You said it's strange to be wearing a tie. Rick, you're transitioning, but still wide open as always.
At a baseball game, I think this may be a first for me, wearing a tie to a baseball game. It's also a first for me in all my years of covering sports in Mississippi, I don't think I've ever covered Lewisburg. I've never seen Lewisburg play.
Well, to give you a little story about Lewisburg, they're one of the new DeSoto County schools. This is their first ever trip to a state championship game in any of the major sports, but this is a team that is young. They're loaded, majority sophomore players. The seniors they do have are going to the likes of Northwest Louisiana Monroe. They're deep in pitching. This is maybe a year or two ahead of schedule, and they plan on being a residual, participant in this tournament. But Rick, as one of the things that you can get used to now as you transition, get used to DeSoto County schools. They've got much up there.
Yeah. They got their work cut out for them today because that Purvis pitcher was hitting 88 on the gun first inning.
Well, you know, and he's an 84, 85 guy. That shows you what adrenaline can do for you in that first inning. We're going to talk to you as this inning goes on, as we set the table for our fans. Let's go ahead and set it up. Philip Lott, Hunter Holcomb, and Logan Farrell leading things off. A Purvis team that's won 15 out of 16. This is a Purvis team that won back-to-back 3A titles back in 04 and 05 and also reached the finals in 2003. They've been here 5 of the last 10 years. They last won a state championship back in 2000, or actually made it to the championship round back in 2007. But this is where they kind of feel like they're at home, Rick.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, I grew up in Hattiesburg covering Purvis and Petal and Sumrall and Hattiesburg, and that's baseball country. That's just baseball country. They know how to play down there. And it starts with T-ball and goes all the way up.
What's their ace in the hole down there? Is it superior coaching? Is it access to facilities? What gives them that, what seems like just this home field, homegrown advantage down there?
I just think it's the importance that people down there put on baseball. They were, that area was one of the first parts of the state that actually hired baseball coaches instead of putting the defensive secondary coach, in charge of the baseball program. I mean, they actually hired baseball coaches, started playing 30, 35 games a year before everybody else in the state did. It goes back to that, I think.
Tanner Densford on the mound. He has a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Philip Lott, leading things off here in a scoreless bottom of the first inning. The voice you hear to my right is Rick Cleveland, now head of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. And Rick, you get in, and I know you want a vision cast as to what you want to see this Hall of Fame do in terms of being active in the community, active in the sports world of the state of Mississippi, increasing awareness for what is such a great product just across this parking lot. What are some things that you have in store for us as you work with everybody in the sports community in Mississippi to make this even more special than it already is?
Well, the first big project we've got right now is we're redesigning our website. We're going to try to make it a go-to website for sports fans in Mississippi, I'm going to write for it just the way I wrote for the Clarion Ledger website. So, that's one big change that's coming up soon.
Does that offer opportunities for people to reach the people that love following you in terms of generating revenue for that facility?
Well, we obviously hope it will. We hope it will bring interest to the Hall of Fame and also bring some advertising dollars. We are totally self-sustaining at the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame Museum. We do not receive a single penny of tax money for operating expenses, and it's been that way since we opened on July 4th, 1996. No tax money. We earn our own keep, and so that obviously a big part of my job is keeping that revenue stream sustainable.
A perfectly executed bunt by Hunter Holcomb, and then great base running by Philip Lott, the center fielder, to scoot into second base, beat out the throw. As we saw the Patriots try to take a gamble, try to get the lead runner. It does not work out, so a bunt single. Holcomb reaching on the fielder's choice, I should say. And everybody's safe at first and second, and Logan Farrell, the starting shortstop, now stands in. He wants to bunt to advance the runners and give the Tornadoes second and third with one out here in the bottom of the first inning. Rick Cleveland joining us here in the broadcast booth. Just game 2 of a busy week. Day 1 of potentially 5 days. Monday would be a potential game 3 or a day 5, game 3s scenario, but just the weather we have right now, Rick.
Yeah.
This stadium is something that I wanted to have you up here to talk about. Everybody loves the modern amenities of Trustmark Park, but you can't get a more historic venue just about anywhere in the state.
No, this is a great park. I was here the day it opened with the old Jackson Mets. Gosh, I guess that was 1976, I think. Yeah, I've seen a lot of great players come through this ballpark, I can tell you that much.
Name a few. Name a few of the best that always caught your ie and you always remember fondly.
Well, Darryl Strawberry is the one I'll never forget. He hit 34 home runs in this ballpark, and in the rest of the history of all the Jackson minor league teams, nobody ever reached 20.
Wow.
Because it's a pitcher's ballpark. It's a big ball.
Oh, 375 in the gaps, 401 to straightaway center, 330 down the lines. That's going to get out of a lot of high school ballparks.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I've noticed just from being here for a few minutes today and from watching Belhaven play some this season is how much faster this field has gotten since they put the artificial turf down. When they first put it down, it played slower than grass. But now I can see where it has sped up quite a bit the way they said it would.
1 ball, 1 strike, breaking ball that just fell off the table. A swing and a miss by Lloyd Lambeth, the big first baseman. And he's got runners in second and third after that perfectly executed sacrifice bunt by Logan Farrell. A base hit could open up a couple of runs for the Tornadoes. The pitch comes in. This one jammed him. He's trying to scoot it up the middle. That one takes a hop. It hits, and everybody's safe. And it's going down as an infield single on the short hop. Haney couldn't get to it, charging in from second. Bases are loaded now for John Ross McElhenney.
The base runner at third couldn't tell whether it was going to be caught or not, so he's still at third.
So everybody's safe, and we're reminiscing with Rick Cleveland about this ballpark. You know, we still have the Maloney series. Connor's done a great job to transition this ballpark and make it viable with everything going on right now, with the added expenses of running a venue, with the quite simply put more venues available and the upgrades at a lot of home sites. But going back even to the Governor's Cup days, I mean, there's been some great college baseball, a lot of great high school baseball. Here's another infield hit, charging the shortstop. Throw not going to be in time. It's wild. It gets away. 2 runs are in. It's going to go down as a hit and then an error. And Josh, so an error on the throw.
I can remember when Will Clark and Rafael Palmera and Jeff Brantley and Bobby Thigpen played for Mississippi State. They came here and played a preseason game against the Jackson Mets, who were a Double-A team, and just beat the dog out of them.
Well, now all of a sudden you look up here on this scoreboard, 2-0. That was another infield single. Then to E6, the error. 2 more runners in scoring position. A first pitch strike to Chris Aiken. Purvis on top, 2-0. And they're swing away from grabbing a 4-0 lead. Now again, Rick, let's put this into perspective. This is a Purvis team with one of the nation's best ERA. Coming into the West Lauderdale series, it was at .97. It's now at 1.09. In all your years, have you seen in high school ERA that good?
Not since they went to metal bats. When I was a senior at Hattiesburg High, we had one pitcher named Bobby Myrick, who later pitched for the New York Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates, and another one named Buddy Davenport, who later pitched at Southern Miss. And I think our team ERA was probably under 1 for sure. But back then we didn't play but 12 or 14 games, so
it was a lot easier. Now some teams like here at Lewisburg, they've played as many as anybody in the state, just about 34 games. I know Oak Grove has played 35. It's now a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Aiken. A check swing on a breaking ball, not in the dirt, in the turf. It's something as broadcasters we have to adjust to. But talking to Coach Farlow, who brings his team here for just another appearance, they continue to get him to this venue under his leadership, and they're looking for their 3rd title under him. He says the biggest thing that's helped his team ERA is the new BB Core bats. As here's a ground ball hit to short, throw to first in time, but the ground out scores a run. Give a run batted into Aiken on the 6-3 ground out. and it is now a 3-0 lead. Lambus scores from third. McElhenney moves from second to third. And now Tyler Kitchens, the 7th batter to come up to the plate in this bottom of the first inning. But, Rick, BB Core is where we left off on that play.
Yeah.
These new BB Core bats have changed college baseball and high school baseball.
And high school baseball.
Absolutely.
Changed college before high school. But what you're seeing is, like in this inning, you're just seeing a lot more small ball, a lot more bunting, a lot more fundamental. A lot of the way that a lot of us grew up playing the game with wood bats.
And there's a base hit to left field. More small ball for the Tornadoes. And another run scores. 4 runs on 4 hits. They've taken advantage of an error by the Patriots. And this Purvis team has come out clicking just about as good as they can here in early going. They come out and they get a pair of strikeouts to start off. They work a 1-2-3 top of the first inning and have put up 4 runs in the bottom of the frame. There's an errant throw that's going to get out towards right field. Everybody giving chase. The whole right side of the field. Long throw. If this one's wild, it takes a high hop, but a nice play by Baker over at third to keep the runner at third. So a 2-base error there allows Kitchens to scoot around the base pass. And that goes back to what I was previewing on in the top part of the last game. You touched on the turf, that it's playing faster now. But you're going to get clean bounces, but you could get extremely hot, high bounces.
You can, and you didn't get that when they first put this turf down. It was so slow, and it has really, really sped up. I'll tell you one funny story about Purvis is that when I was growing up in Hattiesburg, Purvis was so small they didn't have their own little league. So they would come the 8-10 miles into town to play Little League Baseball.
Here's a ground ball to second, on to first, and that will end the inning. Rick, let's pick that story up when we come back from break as we continue with Rick Cleveland, the executive producer of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. Through 1 inning, 4 runs on 4 hits, taking advantage of an error, and one left on base. At the end of 1, Purvis 4, Lewisburg nothing. Back in a moment. You're watching the MHSAA Network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the MHSAA network, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Purvis 4, Lewisburg nothing. The exact start that South Mississippi was looking for in this game. 4 runs on 4 hits, 8 come to the plate in the home half of the first inning. I'm Josh West alongside Rick Cleveland, and Rick is finishing up a neat story about the evolution of this Purvis program and Little League Baseball and Purvis before he's got to run back across the parking lot to the Hall of Fame.
When I was growing up in Hattiesburg, Purvis was too small to have its own little league, so they all came to town to the big city of Hattiesburg to play Little League Baseball. But they quickly developed a reputation that you wanted to draft those guys on your team. You wanted those Purvis guys because they knew how to play. They were tough. They were tough kids too. So I've always had great respect for Purvis and Purvis baseball.
He is Rick Cleveland. I'm Josh West, and again, as we transition here, we got to say goodbye to Rick. Rick, I'm so glad to hear, though, that you're going to get the website up with the Hall of Fame so I can get my Rick Cleveland column fixed, so to speak. I've been having withdrawals, man. Glad to have you back. That'll be great.
Thanks a lot, Josh. Now, I can't wait to see more of this baseball right across the parking lot.
All right, thank you so much.
Take care.
Rick, that's Rick Cleveland as he steps aside, and as that base hit goes into right field, but the Tornadoes slow to get to it. Scooting in his second base was Tanner Lloyd with a double to lead things off here in the top of the second inning. So Lewisburg desperately in need to have an answer for that Tornado. Bottom of the first inning, they do so, and here comes Dalton Todd, the catcher. Dalton is signed with Louisiana Monroe, one of a few seniors on this team. You look at guys like Todd and like Baker and like Dinsford as well as Scholl. A lot of those guys going to play college baseball, as we'll talk about. Joe Barrett on the hill. Defensively with McElhenney in left, Lott in center. And then Kitchens in right. Roseberry at third, Farrell at short, Aiken at second, Lambeth at first, and then Holcomb behind the plate, and he does a good job to block up that pitch. In the batting order, after Todd, Gabe Brown, the left fielder, bats sixth. Hunter Wilson is a DH for the shortstop, Kobe Busby. And then Chris Taylor, the right fielder, bats eighth, and Aaron Baker, the third baseman, rounds out the batting order before we go back to the top to Haney, Martin, Dinsford. Swing and a miss. Another good-looking pitch here by Joe Barrett. Barrett just continues to look solid. That's what makes that double by Tanner Lloyd all the more impressive. Ball and 2 strikes, runner in scoring position. Barrett trying to get Todd to chase. Very interesting to hear a guy in Rick Cleveland who is such a fixture, a household name with Mississippi sports fans. He retires from the largest paper in the state, the Clarion Ledger. Swing and a miss by Todd. But he had not heard of this Lewisburg team. Well, people will know of Lewisburg after this season. This is just their first appearance. But I was talking to their coaches before the ball game, and Rusty Cagle does a great job there with that program. And this may be maybe on schedule, maybe a little ahead of schedule, but with the pitching staff that they have and the youth on this team, in this starting lineup, there are 5 sophomores. They're not going anywhere, folks. So get used to the Patriots. 1 on, 1 out. Middle infield playing with the base runner, Lloyd at second base. You look at this Purvis team, this is their year. They've won 6 in a row, 15 out of 16. 8 seniors in this starting lineup. Their entire outfield, their middle infield, their catcher, all seniors. So that is so much experience. There's a ground ball to second. Coming up with it is Aiken on to Lambeth. Then there are 2 away. So Gabe Brown is retired. And here comes Hunter Wilson, the designated hitter. For Lewisburg, making the march through Lafayette, then New Albany, Amory, opened up against Yazoo County. The pitch on the way, ground ball hit off the end of the bat, pushed wide of the bag at first, and giving the Patriot coaching staff a little bit of workout over there. First base coach for the Patriots doing a good job to bare hand, keep the game moving. No balls and a strike here. The pitch. This one line shot out towards our truck. And so maybe our guys, our crew, in theory, ducking out there a little bit. They had a couple of close calls in game 1 in that 5-2 win. Nanawaya getting the win over Greenville St. Joe. And there's a swing and a miss to end the inning. So after the double, Lloyd only could get to third base on the ground out to second. So a runner left at third, no runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left on base, 90 feet away. An inning and a half in the scorebook. It is Purvis 4 and Lewisburg nothing. So, you go back to the title series of the South State. It was a wild 5-4 victory back on Friday night to get the Tornadoes here for the 5th time in the past 10 seasons. This is a Purvis team that had to overcome a 4-1 deficit. And, oh, by the way, ho-hum, 8 errors. Okay, 8. The Snowman, if it was on your golf scorecard, to beat the Knights, it was actually Hunter Holcomb's run-scoring double in the bottom of the 7th that was able to get it done and get them back here for the first time since 2007. They also were able to get a win 4-2 over West Lauderdale in game 1 of that series. But the guy in Joe Barrett that was so dominant to go on the road and beat West Lauderdale, and for Joe Barrett to go there and get the complete game, we're just seeing a continuation of his last outing so far here through the first 2 innings in this one, having struck out 4 and given up just 1 hit in his first 2 innings of work. And so after 8 come to the plate in the first inning, we see the bottom of the order in Nathan Roseberry, followed by Phillip Lott, Hunter Holcomb. Let's set that defense for you for Lewisburg. As we came on right at first pitch, you've got Brown in left, Martin in center, Taylor in right, Baker at third, Busby at short, Haney at second, Lloyd at first. Todd is behind the plate, and Dinsford, who came into the game with a 7-4 record and 94 strikeouts, is still sitting on that 94 number, although out ahead in the count to Roseberry. No balls and 2 strikes. Dinsford works from the stretch and delivers the 0-2, and that one is fouled off, and it keeps Roseberry alive. For Purvis, a team that came into today batting .323 on the season. .323. They've scored 190 runs through 28 games. The team that picks up their 25th win in this one will be 1 win away from a state championship. Each team came into today with 24 wins on the season, as this 0-2 pitch is popped foul, and now Roseberry will have to walk back. He's actually just taking a slow walk back and getting his money's worth before he'll see his 5th pitch of his at bat. Take a couple of more cuts. Can't say enough about what a great job our crew is doing. Down over on the third base side, the first base side, and back in our truck. As the breaking ball comes in, called a ball. Lewisburg was tossing it around the horn. Boy, that is not what you want to do to show up a home plate umpire. Hopefully Edward Haynes Jr., who was behind the plate, just looked the other way. Here's the 1-2, popped up. And so Roseberry continues to fight. Philip Lott, who singled his scored, is on deck. Hunter Holcomb, who reached on a fielder's choice, came in to score on an error, is to follow. Curveball up high. 2-2. Well, if anything, hopefully Edward Haynes Jr., our home plate umpire, is in a jolly mood here in the early going. Hopefully that didn't shrink the strike zone any, I was going to say. But you can't ever assume anything in baseball. There's so many things in baseball that are subjective, and there's so many people, so much discussion at maybe at the highest levels, even in like Major League Baseball, where they have the capability with so many eyes and so many cameras on a Major League Baseball game, with so many, every game really video streamed in some capacity, to have some type of instant replay. Embracing technology, as the throw by Todd gets into center field after the 2-2 pitch missed. Coming all the way in was Martin to field that. So we've already seen 2 errors by Lewisburg in this ball game. And here is the 3-2 pitch, and there's ball 4. That was close to a strike call that time, but it ends up being ball 4. Roseberry is aboard with the leadoff walk, and now the third baseman puts his speed aboard, which sends us scurrying to the notes to check his stolen base numbers on the season. We'll see if we can find those. So looking at his numbers in that department, he has recorded numbers 4 for 4 on the season. 4 stolen bases in 4 attempts. Purvis as a team, 28 of 38 in the stolen base department. Here's the pitch from Dinsford, with Baker charging in hard from third, expecting a bunt to sacrifice the runner. Instead, Philip Lott takes ball 1. Ball and no strikes. This bunt pushed over towards Baker. That one rolls foul. Count evens at a ball and a strike. That was right on the line. You glance at your screen and you see 4-0 Purvis. And a lot of people are getting off work and logging on as we speak and are wondering what happened. A 4-run, 4-hit bottom of the first inning, aided by a pair of infield singles, and Purvis taking advantage of a pair of Lewisburg errors. Here's a bunt that is perfectly executed. Push back to Dinsford. Dinsford fields cleanly, as you saw, got it to Lloyd in plenty of time. But the mission was to get Roseberry to second, and the mission was successful. Sacrifice bunt goes down in the scorebook for Phillip Lott. And here comes Hunter Holcomb. Holcomb reached on a fielder's choice. Came in to score on an error in the first inning. He plated the Tornadoes' second run of the ball game. The pitch. Ball one. Throughout this game, we'll see the shadows grow longer and longer as we continue. You'll see those really start to come into play over the next hour or so. Here's the pitch coming in. Big swing and a miss there. Chasing one outside for Dinsford. 82-86 on his fastball. He'll throw a two-seamer and a four-seamer. He's got a slider and a curveball. He'll work it outside in. Not afraid to do that whatsoever. Throw back to second. Safely in on the slide was Roseberry on a baseball that popped out of the mid of Busby. Again, this is just the tip of the iceberg with what you're going to see from the MHSAA network. We are still in our infancy, so to speak, and couldn't be more thrilled with the type of product you're seeing before your eyes. Here's a pitch, blooped into shallow right field. Sun playing with Haney, but he puts it away. Steady play that time by Lowell Haney at second base. The pop-up retires Holcomb. And here comes Logan Farrell in the 3 spot. Lott, Holcomb, Farrell's 1, 2, 3. Lloyd Lambeth, John Ross McElhenney, Chris Aiken, 4, 5, 6. Tyler Kitchens, Lane Ratliff, and Nathan Roseberry, 7, 8, 9. Here's one, a hot shot back up the middle. Roseberry cruising around third. Here comes the throw. Play at the plate. He is out. Dead to rights, and the runner would have been into second base had Roseberry scored. What a cannon from Martin in center field, hooking up with Todd for the 8-2 putout to keep Purvis at 4 and in the inning on what turned out to be a double by Farrell. So that'll end the inning. No damage done, no runs on a hit, no errors, and one left on base. 2 complete now, and it is still a 4-0 ball game. Well, we don't have really a chance to digest what we just saw, but holy smokes, that was a great throw by Martin in center field. It was a strike that pulled Todd up the line right into Roseberry and a beautiful tag. Now, one thing some of our fans might not be aware of is that there cannot be a collision that is intentional without players being out and tossed. That is in the rule books. It's for the players. It's for the players' safety, and it's something that I really don't know. Some days I have one opinion on that subject. Other days I don't. Obviously, I'm for the safety of the players, but it can really be something that is game and season changing, game and season ending. But I guess at the expense of somebody having their career ended or season ended, then you've got to protect the players. So there's that side of the coin. But in that particular situation, clean slide, great throw, clean tag, great high school baseball play. Here's the pitch coming in from Barrett, and a pop-up. Could be trouble. This one slicing foul territory, and nobody could see it. That time, Lambeth gave up on it, got turned around in foul territory. Aiken never close enough to it, couldn't see it in the sun, and that one fell harmlessly in foul territory. And Chris Taylor had a very anxious strike that time. So new life for Chris Taylor as he takes a strike on the outside corner. 4 of the first 7 retired via the strikeout. 4 of the first 7 batters faced, but 4 of the 6 outs have been via the strikeout. With Holcomb setting up off the plate, as you just saw, that pitch was close. Ball and 2 strikes. Taylor was not offering. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Taylor's done. 5th strikeout for Barrett. Well, a perfect segue to look at Barrett's numbers on the season. Barrett comes in with that 1.77 earned run average. Opponents bat just 188 against him. He's worked now in 49 2/3 of an inning. As that pitch is wild and gets to the backstop. He's faced just a shade over 200 batters, given up 34 hits, 15 runs, 12 earned, 4 doubles, and a home run. Pitch high and tight. The count to 2-0. 35 strikeouts against 11 walks. And it just goes to what we were talking about with Coach Farlow before the ball game. These guys don't overpower you. But this is his 14th appearance. He's worked 2 complete games, looking for his 10th win on the season in his 12th start of the year. He's been Mr. Productive. Here's a ground ball hit deep in the hole at second. Drifting back, Aiken teaming up with Lambeth for the 4-3 ground out. Baker is retired. Aaron Baker is done. And to the top of the order in Lowell Haney. Lowell Haney struck out looking in the first inning. Fans, something I failed to touch on there after the second inning is that you can relive these games by purchasing DVD copies of these games through the MHSAA network. You can connect through Play on Sports at MISSHSAA.com. Follow the links, order your DVD, and cherish these memories for a lifetime. Here's the 1-0 pitch. This one slapped the opposite way, and a seeing eye single to left field. Just the second hit surrendered by Barrett of this late afternoon, and here comes Rudy Martin. Martin, interesting story. Just a sophomore, young man who has got blazing speed. Runs a 6'6", 60-yard dash. 6'6", 60-yard dash. He has suffered in the first game of the season a pulled groin that actually pulled away from the bone. Has missed basically this entire season. He's back. He's 0 for 1 on the day, but he's just one of the many great young talents on this young Lewisburg team from Olive Branch, Mississippi. DeSoto County, the pitch. This one low, wild, gets away from Holcomb and into second base goes Lowell Haney. So a 2-out single, a wild pitch. Martin ahead in the count. For Martin, for Lewisburg, batting .286, but has missed 14 games this year. 16 hits, 11 RBI, 2 doubles and a triple with no home runs. As the 1-0 offering outside, count to 2-0. Base hit could give the Patriots some much needed momentum. Can Martin find the swing? He takes a strike there on 2-0 and was taking all the way. Lewisburg, as we maybe kind of glazed over for those of you who were wanting to listen a lot more to Rick Cleveland's answers than my questions. Purvis a 1.09 team earned run average. It was .97 going into that South State Championship Series against West Lauderdale, but one of the tops in the nation. Not in the state, you heard me right, in the nation. Counts now 3-1 to Rudy Martin. 2 outs, runner at second, the pitch. Martin stays alive. Tanner Densford, who got nicked up in that bottom of the first inning, he's on deck. He would love an opportunity to get a crack at it with runners on base. Chance to help his own cause here. Counts full, runner will be moving. The pitch called strike 3 on the outside corner, freezes Martin. 6 strikeouts through 3 innings for Barrett, and a runner left in scoring position for the second inning in a row. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. As we transition through 2.5 to the bottom of the third inning, fans want to thank our title sponsor of this baseball state championship weekend. Our coverage and this tournament sponsored by Mississippi Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Center. And again, we're just so glad that they have stepped up to the plate to be a part of us and be a part of this as we transition to the bottom of the third inning with Purvis on top 4-0. We're glad you are joining us. Glad you're staying with us to see an up-and-coming team in Lewisburg and one of the staples of South Mississippi baseball in the Purvis Tornadoes. More great South Mississippi baseball tonight as Oak Grove, the #1 team in the state in Class 6A, will be here 32-3, coming off a series win in their last series, obviously, but wanting to get that bracket for you to glance at for Madison Central. I'm hoping I can put my finger on it quickly enough to not make myself one of those moments where I was wanting to have a moment of brilliance, and then of course I had a moment of a senior moment, but I'm not a senior yet. All in good time, I suppose. It was the big series dominating performance over Harrison Central. I guess that's why it kind of just left my memory there for a moment, is because Harrison Central has not been one of the perennial powers. And a team that has is Madison Central. And Madison Central, they were 5A champs in 2009. Oak Grove, 5A champs in 2007. And so those two teams are going to have a knockdown drag-out series that begins tonight at 7. 1-1 pitch on the way from Dinsford to the leadoff batter here. And this is Lloyd Lambeth, the cleanup hitter. Had an infield single, scored a run in the first. Lambeth stands in. Here's the pitch. This one hit well. This one gets under the glove of the shortstop and squirts into center field. Got right past Busby. So a pair of hits for Lloyd Lambeth. And the leadoff man is aboard here in the third. Would not be surprised to see Purvis continue to play small ball, move guys around, get them in scoring position, and then try to just pick up base hits. There's a late bunt attempt by McElhenney, and he pops it back for a strike. McElhenney, an infield single, advanced on an error, came in to score later in the inning on the RBI ground out by Chris Aiken. But McElhenney has already been very active at the plate in this ball game. 6 hits already for the Tornadoes. This day 1 of 4. 3 games, 1, 4, and 7. Tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. And then game 3s, if necessary, on Monday. Count now to ball and a strike to John Ross McElhenney. McElhenney, a .279 hitter with 10 runs batted in on 19 hits, a couple of doubles and a triple. He again looked like he was trying to bunt that one, but it ricocheted foul. Got a piece of it. Ball and 2 strikes. Very emphatic foul call there to make sure that Lambeth stayed put at first and nobody got too excited. You've got Edward Haynes Jr. behind the plate, Tony Hatcher over at first, and Lakey Westbrook over at third. 1-2. That bunt, chopped foul, and that's going to be all for John Ross McElhenney. So McElhenney, that's the danger sometimes. You got a 5-hole hitter that's not necessarily used to putting down bunts. And so he takes his mohawk back in frustration and seems to be keeping the emotions, though, composed. His team has a 4-0 lead, and this is by no means a do-or-die situation, but when you have that opportunity, you always want to take advantage. You don't want any doubts to creep into your mind or that of your coaching staff. But again, you get to this point, and there's such a bond between these teams at this point of the season where there's just an inner belief. Here's a ground ball to short, misplayed. Got right over the mitt of Busby. Busby took his eyes off the baseball trying to spot up Haney, who was coming over to cover the bag at second. They wanted to roll 2, and instead an error. And it will be the second error on Busby in this game. And it will be the 3rd error for Lewisburg so far this afternoon. So runners at first and second with 1 out. Ground ball, base hit. Busby was playing a little towards second. It was charging in Brown to field and throw. cut off in quickly. Station to station baseball, as you see. Lambeth at third. McElhinney at second. Aiken, after the one-out single, is at first. And I misspoke. That Kitchen single, Aiken reached on the air after the McElhinney strikeout. Do apologize. Just got a spot off in my book there. But so it's Aiken at second, Kitchens at first, Lambeth at third. The pitch, this one is popped up on the infield. Busby can handle this one, puts it away, and the DH Ratliff pops up to short. So a chance for Lewisburg to recover and get out of the inning. Nathan Roseberry gets ready to step in. He's ready. Walked in his first plate appearance. And then thrown out trying to score. Thrown out at home on an 8-2 putout to end the second after a single by Logan Farrell. Here's the pitch. Missing for ball one. Roseberry. Very good base runner, as we mentioned. Guy that's a table setter. Let's see if he can, with a full house, so to speak, maybe bring in a little more real estate. Bags full of tornadoes. Lambeth at third, Aiken at second, Kitchens at first. Roseberry, .288 hitter on the season, with 9 runs batted in on 17 hits. 2-0 pitch in for a strike. Roseberry taking. A double, 2 triples, 16 runs scored. This is 79th plate appearance of the season. Pitch comes in, ground ball, hit sharply to third. The force at third. Roseberry grounds into a fielder's choice to end the inning. So that'll do it after no runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error, and there were 3 left on base. So 3 in the books. It's Purvis 4 and Lewisburg nothing. We'll step to break. Back in a moment. You're watching the MHSAA Network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the MHSAA network, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Lewisburg coming to the plate here in the top of the 4th inning here at Smithwell Stadium in Jackson, Mississippi. Game 1 of the 4A title series here from the state capitol. I'm Josh West, so glad you're joining us here along the network. Lewisburg, their first ever appearance, having just captured their first ever North State Championship. Coming off a year where they had to replace their top 4 batters from a season ago. Many didn't expect them to be here. Well, now having dug themselves a 4-run deficit, trying to continue a 12-game winning streak. We'll see what can happen right here as they try to continue this run. It will be Tanner Dinsford along with Tanner Lloyd and Dalton Todd. 3, 4, and 5 working against Joe Barrett. Joe Barrett pumps in a strike. You heard Rick Cleveland talk in the early going, 88 on the gun. We'll keep an eye on the gun here to see what he is hitting here in this inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Took a little bit off that one. So the count is now at 2-0 to Dinsford. Dinsford grounded out to short to end a 1-2-3 top of the first. There's a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike here to Tanner Dinsford. We'll reset that tornado defense for you here in just a moment. A 4-run bottom of the first inning has been the scoring in this one so far. 7 hits for Purvis. And they've also done their best to take advantage of 3 errors for Lewisburg. 2 of those coming in that bottom of the first inning. 3-1. Foul back. The count runs full. Tanner Lloyd's on deck. He doubled to lead things off in the second, but never moved anywhere. Dinsford, .333 hitter, 33 hits, 16 runs batted in, 9 doubles, a triple, and a homer. Payoff pitch. This one hit pretty well. One of the better hit balls we've seen all day, but drifting over and right is Tyler Kitchens, and he puts it away. Tyler Kitchens records the out. Here comes Tanner Lloyd. Tanner Lloyd, who's playing over at first today. Interesting to see how he would shape up in the pitching scenarios. He was 5-0 this season before being injured. He's back now. He's 12-0 all-time in his high school career, but don't know if he's going to be back to pitch necessarily in this series. Depend on how long the season, or rather the series went. 0-1 here to Lloyd. Pitch outside, gets away from Holcomb. 1 ball, 1 strike. For Lloyd, a .312 season batting average. 24 RBI, 34 hits. 34 hits, second best on the team. As the 1-1 misses, now 2-1. 9 doubles, and some of the best power numbers on the team. Tied for the team lead in home runs with Dalton Todd. They each have 5 home runs. Those two combined for 10 of their team's 14 long bombs. 3-1 they count now to Tanner Lloyd. Dalton Todd is on deck. 3-1 pitch, ball 4. So a deep fly ball to right and a 1-out walk. Here comes Dalton Todd. He struck out swinging in the second inning. We touched on Todd's home run numbers, but also 25 hits, 6 doubles, 10 runs scored. This is 116th plate appearance. As he fouls the first pitch, he sees back, and it clanks hard off the top of the grandstand here. That shades this field, also keeps the sound in. Can make for a very loud venue, as we'll see in some of the biggest moments of the state championship series. Barrett continuing to clip along the pitch. So with the count even, Barrett going to check the runner. Pretty good lead down at first, and there a throw to first. Lambeth holding the runner. McElhenney is in left. Phillip Lott is in center. Tyler Kitchens is in right. Roseberry at third. Farrell is at short. Aiken at second. Lambeth at first. Holcomb behind the plate. 1-1. This one straight up the chute. Farrell's camped underneath it. Puts it away. Two away. And we're almost halfway through here this evening. Gay Brown. 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base. Digs in for this righty-righty matchup. Barrett ahead once again. No balls and a strike. Shadows continuing to grow. You can see those there on your screen. Just to the right of the pitcher's mound. There's a swinging strike on a breaking ball. 0-2. This is quite the treacherous right side of the diamond as the sun sets out there in right field at second, maybe even at first, maybe even on a ball in right center. Barrett to get out of the inning. Breaking ball sweeps in and nearly found the inside corner. Brown was willing to stand in and be tough and take one if necessary. Brown batting .333. 29 hits, 17 runs batted in. 1-2 pitch was close. Both teams are scattered across their top step of the dugout. As you can see there behind Brown, looking on, trying to get their team rolling in this one. 2-2 ground ball pushed towards second on 2 hops. Nice play by Aiken. To Lambeth, and again, made it look routine. Brown grounds out to second for the second time in as many at-bats. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We're halfway through as we transition to the bottom of the 4th inning. Fans, again, we want to say a special thanks to the Mississippi High School Activities Association for allowing our Play On Sports Network to partner with Don Hitton and all the crew, Todd Kelly and everyone with the Mississippi High School Activities Association as we begin what is going to be we hope to be a very long and prosperous relationship with not only Mississippi, but Play On Sports is continuing to grow across the country to bring you the very best in high school sports, live games, live play-by-play, live coverage, to be able to bring you such the high production value. Me personally, to have worked with multiple crews, to work with this crew, to enjoy it so much. The guys, everybody's having a good time. We're getting to watch sports and watch some of these up-and-coming stars that we'll see not only at the next level, but even the next level after that. They're guys that are going to be playing pro baseball that we're watching right now, and we'll say we knew them when. And we don't need to tell everybody back in Atlanta that, it's a shame we get paid to do this. Not really. They're laughing at me. They might be more than laughing at me back in the truck. But, again, we are honored and privileged to be able to do this, and we hope you're having as much fun as we are. As a lot of times it sure doesn't seem like work, and especially on a day like today, watching high school baseball with temperatures in the upper 70s, a cool breeze, and this pitch lifted into left and racing in is Brown to put it away. Phillip Lott leading things off at the top of the order, flies out to left field, and here comes Hunter Holcomb. Holcomb is 0 for 2, but did reach on a fielder's choice and score on an error in the 1st inning. So looking for his first hit, taking a first pitch strike. Seems like here in this bottom of the 4th, Tanner Dinsford picking it up just a bit. This one lined right back to him. It ricochets off his mitt. Racing in was Baker at third, and he had no play. Nearly a line-out shot to the pitcher Dinsford, and then Baker trying to slide down and field it. Dinsford nearly made an all-world Gold Glove type play on the mound. Could not put away Holcomb, and it goes down as an infield hit. Courtesy runner comes in. Tomas Taylor coming into the ball game. Tomas Taylor into the ball game. And he is running as a courtesy runner for the catcher, Hunter Holcomb, down at first base. So Taylor at first for Holcomb. And getting set to stand in is Logan Farrell. Farrell, 1 for 1, a single and a sacrifice bunt. Throw over to first, and boy, Taylor was just getting set to take his lead from first base. And at that exact moment, with Taylor leaning, and another throw down to first. Lloyd holding that runner. They've got their eye on Taylor. With 1 out and a runner at first. Dinsford, 2 very solid pick moves. Here's a ground ball on the infield. Baker's got it. The lead runner, no, it's thrown into center field, an E5. Taylor going to get to third. Farrell reaches on the fielder's choice. Runners at the corners with still only 1 out, and that is the 4th error of the ball game. That's close. Boy, that's close. Is that an error on the third baseman? Or does Haney not have to make that play? Boy, that's close. I'm going to have to change my mind. Baker got it to the general vicinity. Haney's got to find a way to get a glove on that baseball. Boy, that's just tough play. Goes down as an E4. 4th error of the ball game for the Patriots. Runners at the corners now for Lloyd Lambeth. No runs, 2 hits, 4 errors for Lewisburg. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Purvis. Purvis knows exactly what the Patriots are dealing with. We backtracked to when we were setting up the scene for this game and talking about that Purvis overcame 8 errors in a 5-4 win over West Lauderdale at home last Friday night. Another throwdown of first base, and Lambeth is back in. Or excuse me, Farrell is back in. Lambeth at the plate has scored a run, 2 for 2 with an infield single, and a single in his hip pocket already to his line's credit. As the 0-1 misses, evens the count. There's not been much breeze to speak of today. Flags limp in center field. And limp now basically along the bleachers in right. It's 330 down the lines, 375 in the gaps. 401 is straightaway center, a 2-tier fence all the way around. As the breaking ball stays high. That one slipped on Dinsford. 2 balls and a strike. Purvis looking to build on a 4-run lead. The pitch. Strike called. 2-2. McElhinney is on deck. 1 for 2 with an infield single. Run batted in, run scored, and a strikeout. Another quick move by Dinsford over towards first where Lloyd is holding Farrell. Taylor for Holcomb at third. Tomas Taylor the pitch. This one reached out, trying to go the other way. Knocked down by Baker, goes to second for 1. They'll get the force, but a run will score. So Taylor for Holcomb scores from third. It's now a 5-0 ball game. Farrell is forced out on the 5-4 putout. Lambeth reaches on the fielder's choice. Now 2 outs in the inning for John Ross McElhinney. I want to go back now while we have just a moment here and talk about the pitching numbers for this team as a whole. Pitching numbers for Purvis as a whole are ridiculously good. John Ross McElhinney at the plate, but an opponent batting average of 172, team ERA of 1.09. They've given up 29 runs earned all season, 50 total for the year in 28 games. They've given up only 8 doubles all season coming into today, 9 including today. 215 strikeouts against 60 walks as a staff. When you're striking out more than 4-1 over the walks, almost, 240 to 60 would be a 4-1 ratio. You're going to win a lot of baseball games. Basically they're giving up less than 2 runs per game, which is phenomenal as a staff, and by they, meaning the Purvis Tornadoes. Count now to 2-1 on John Ross McElhinney. Lambeth at first base. From the stretch, Dinsford. Ground ball towards second. Haney's got it to Lloyd, ends the inning. But 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on base. And so we've worked it through 4 complete here at Smithville Stadium. Purvis extends their lead now to 5-0. Fans, don't forget, this is just game 2 of 3 today. If you can't get enough of this great high school baseball on the MHSAA network, well, we have got you covered. We can get your fix on. We've got baseball for 4 straight days. We've got the Madison Central Oak Grove game coming on tonight as well. And fans, don't forget that you can catch all of these games on demand as part of the Play On Sports Network, the MHSAA network. You can go to www.mishsaa.tv and you can watch all of the action on demand. And so you can go back and immediately relive these games. Lance Pittman going to be with you tonight to bring you the game 1 of that fantastic 6A series between Madison Central and Oak Grove. That will be a dandy tonight. Purvis is doing their best to represent South Mississippi right now. No runs, 2 hits, 4 errors for Lewisburg. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Purvis. And so for Lewisburg, well, the time's now. We're already into the latter innings. We have turned the corner, so to speak. We've hit the peak. We're on the downhill of this one in regulation anyway. In the bottom third of the order, Hunter Wilson, Chris Taylor, Aaron Baker, 7, 8, 9. And the first pitch that Barrett deals is popped out of play. So it's 0-1 to the DH Wilson, who struck out swinging in his first at bat. 0-1 pitch looped in for a called strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Barrett, quick rhythm. That one comes in just low. Count, a ball and 2 strikes. Not so sure that this count might not be 2-1. I think that his call might have thrown us a little bit. Well, we know we have 2 strikes now. It's either 1-2 or 2-2 now. It is 2-2. So he had a ball that he motioned with his right arm, signaling that it was down. He kind of pushed towards the ground, almost like in a motion to quiet a crowd. But it was actually a ball call, and it kind of threw us off. We thought he called a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Here's a ground ball hit up towards short. Farrell's got it. Unloads quickly to Lambeth. And there's one away here in the top of the 5th inning. Chris Taylor now comes up. Taylor struck out swinging in the 3rd. For Taylor on the season, a .284 hitter. 20 runs batted in, 7 doubles, 2 home runs. And here come those shadows creeping in that I mentioned. Here's a ground ball. This one going to be charged on by Farrell. He'll throw to Lambeth again. Lambeth, the stretch in time by a step. Nice play that time by, again, Farrell hooking up with Lambeth. And that's what you want if you're Barrett. Clipping along, keeping your pitch count down. If you're Lewisburg, you got to be careful not to press. You're starting to be able to count outs on just your fingers, and you don't want to fall in a 1-0 hole in this series with life or death to the loser of game 2. After a first pitch strike, ground ball. Will this one stay fair? It will not. 0-2. Baker grounded out to second in the 3rd. He's 0 for 1. Baker, a .321 hitter. Lewisburg, again, starting 5 sophomores. .301 team batting average. But Barrett just continuing to do what he does so well. 0-2. And this one came up and clocked him on the side of the helmet. And that might have almost clocked him on the face. Boy, that was scary. You know, that was almost a nightmare of mine that I almost saw it transpire right before my eyes. I was thinking about it. I've got a friend of mine. It's a guy I work with. Wants me to go hit BP, go to a batting cage. I'm a golfer. I think that my face could be facing serious permanent damage if I were to do that. And that is going to keep me out of a batting cage. Pitch comes in, rings him up, a called strike 3. Well, when you have it working, you've got it working. And the Tornadoes have it working this afternoon. So the strikeout looking for Aaron Baker. And the Patriots go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. So as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning, we see that it will be 6, 7, and 8 due up. Aiken, Kitchens, and Ratliff. Aiken's got a run batted in. Kitchens has a pair of singles. Ratliff, the DH, 0 for 2, but has still been very productive. Purvis trying to put the Raps on their 7th straight win, trying to win for the 16th time in their last 17 games. Purvis trying to snap a Lewisburg 12-game winning streak. Now, all the notes that I've seen say that Lewisburg on an 11-game winning streak. But when you talk to Coach Cagle says 12-game winning streak. We're going to go with Coach. We're going to go with Coach. No person would know his team better than him. So we'll go with him. And if 12 feels better, if he can wear that a little better, that works too. But what is true is that both of these teams have 24 wins. Only one will walk away with 25 and be on the brink of a state championship after today. And so here comes Chris Aiken. 0 for 2 on the day, but has had a run batted in on a ground ball in the first, part of that 4-run, 4-hit first inning. And then also reached on an error. That coming in the third. The pitch coming in. Here's a ground ball hit to short, and that's the third error of the game for Busby. That one took a wicked hop, it appeared. Kind of got in on his body a little bit and ricocheted off the inside, the heel of his mitt. So for the second time in the last 2 plate appearances, Aiken reaches on the E6. They've yet to score it, and they score it now finally as error number 5. Here comes Tyler Kitchens. Pitch comes in, ground ball just wide of the bag at third. Boy, that time it was green light special for Kitchens. Swing away with Baker charging down the line from third, expecting bunt. And that one was only about 1.5 feet wide of the bag at third. Little chess match there that Purvis almost came up smelling like a rose in a big way. Count even. Ball on a strike. Throw down to first. Lloyd holding the runner there in Aiken, the second baseman of the Tornadoes. Tornadoes in that white and gold, navy and gray of Lewisburg. Here's a pitch that is popped out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tomorrow, Taylorsville and Bruce will hook up in 2A at 1. Southeast Lauderdale, who defeated the 4-time defending state champ Sumrall Bobcats, will be against Kossuth at 4 in 3A. Then Pascagoula Hernando in the nightcap. Ground ball back up the middle. 2 hops. Onto the bag at second. On to first. And Busby couldn't turn 2. The throw was low. And so we see Kitchens reach on a fielder's choice. Busby got the force at second base. He was able to field in front of the bag at second there. And just tap that foot back on the bag. So Chase Smith, a pinch hitter, being introduced into the ball game for the DH Ratliff. Chase Smith stands in wearing that number 14 on his jersey. Chase Smith is the guy that Purvis will turn to as their game 2 starter. The senior lefty. Smith behind 0-1. Now the count evens. Ball on a strike. Smith this season batting just 143, but they're giving him an opportunity here to get his 6th hit of the season. He lifts one into right. This one's going to be a bright out. Sun right in the face that time of Taylor, but he puts it away. So Smith is retired, and here comes Nathan Roseberry. Nathan Roseberry, 0 for 1. Hit into a fielder's choice to end the third. Walked and was gunned down trying to get to home to end the second. Lloyd holding over at first base. Tyler Kitchens. 1 on, 2 outs. Purvis has out hit the Patriots 8-2 and opening up that 5-run lead. A called strike puts Roseberry in the hole. Roseberry looking for his first hit of the evening and looking for the team's 9th of the day. Here's one turned on, hit pretty well in the left field. Drifting back though with plenty of room is Brown, and that'll end the inning. So the fly ball to left ends the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. 5 complete here at Smithwell Stadium in Jackson. It's Purvis 5, Lewisburg nothing. You're listening, or rather you're watching the MHSAA Network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the MHSAA network, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
To the top of the sixth inning we go. Purvis a 5-0 lead. 4 of those 5 in the bottom of the first inning. And Purvis has done their best to take advantage of 5 Lewisburg errors. Now, 2 of those came in that 4-run first, as the Patriots have pretty well been able to dance around the other 3. But Purvis got out to that hot start. They have given Joe Barrett exactly the comfort level that he needed. And he looks to be on his way to win number 10 in his 12th start. Looking for his 3rd complete game of the season. And as I say that, I want to just make sure I triple check that. But he has been lights out as Barrett deals. A first pitch coming in for a strike. Working to the top of the order in Lowell Haney. 1, 2, and 3, Haney, Martin, and Dinsford, the pitch. This one pushed over, past the third baseman, got past Roseberry and into left field, and that'll be a single. Good job by McElhenney to cover a lot of ground in left. And so that's the 2nd hit of the game, another single for Lowell Haney. Here comes Rudy Martin. 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. He struck out swinging and he struck out looking. And indeed, Barrett is looking for that 3rd complete game. This is his 14th appearance, his 12th start of the season for Joe Barrett. And trying to even do better than that 1.77 earned run average. Here's one slicing foul into the corner out and left. There is action in that Lewisburg bullpen. And one thing I can promise you, I'll have my binoculars on Friday. It's a ritual. It stays with my football equipment, but for some reason or another, I don't know if it's spoiled or small ballparks, but the binoculars have a way to not make it to baseball venues. 0-1, long strike to Martin. Chased one over his head. Now we've got a rundown, but not much of one. Is getting into second. A secondary tag attempt after Haney almost slid past the bag is unsuccessful. And a stolen base. Hit and run was on that time. Martin trying to protect the runner. Did all he could and did a pretty good job. Just enough. Here's the pitch. Ball and 2 strikes. We've seen Barrett record strikeouts in 4 of the first 5 innings. He recorded a pair of strikeouts in the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. Barrett, the pitch, runner going, throw down to 3rd. The tag not in time. Throw was low by Holcomb. Roseberry was there, but the baseball was not. Another stolen base for Haney. Very impressive speed. Lewisburg doing everything they can to manufacture runs here late. It's a half dozen outs remaining in a 5-run deficit. Top of the order. And after Martin, it gets into the meat of the order. Dinsford, Lloyd, and Todd. 2-2, ground ball, base hit, will play to run. Straight back into center field. Back-to-back singles. A run batted in, and there'll be a meeting on the mound here for Purvis. And it looks like Purvis will make a change, perhaps. Glance out to see where they might go to make a change. They are going to make the change. So it appeared as if Barrett was out of juice. And so we have a pitching change here. And we'll get a number for you and go ahead and give you his numbers to set the stage for what we're going to see. So 5 innings of work, 1 run given up on 4 hits, but Barrett's line not complete. Ratliff, the new pitcher, Lane Ratliff, the DH. He was pulled from his DH role as they brought in Chase Smith to hit for him in the 8th spot in the bottom of the 5th inning. And so as we give you Lane Ratliff's pitching numbers, we'll start with that earned run average, .25 for the left-hander, .25 ERA. Opponents batting .144 against him. He's worked in 27 2/3 of an inning. He's faced 116 batters, given up 6 runs, 1 earned all season, and just 14 hits. So he gives up just about 1 hit every 2 innings. For Ratliff, 46 strikeouts against 13 walks. For Ratliff this season, this will be his 15th appearance. And he comes in with a record of 3-0 with 1 save on the year. So just give you a chance to just really look at him. And it didn't take him long to get loose. And the thing about Ratliff, obviously, when he was loosening down the right field line, it never caught my attention with the way that Barrett was performing. A quick throw to first, and back safely is Martin. Martin with that blazing speed. The sophomore actually, though, pulled that groin away from the bone in the first game of the season trying to steal a base. But just a guy that can flat out move over at first. And Lewisburg with new life. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Tanner Dinsford. 1-0 pitch, a wild one. And Martin gets to second. And the Patriots don't have to sacrifice him over. It's a 5-1 ball game. Haney, the leadoff single. 2 stolen bases. Came in as scored on the Martin RBI single. Now we have a new pitcher into the ball game in Ratliff. 5 innings of work for Joe Barrett. He's in line for the win right now. Two balls, no strikes. The pitch comes in. It's a ground ball, base hit in the left field. Martin going to be given the stop sign at third. So throw comes in. Back-to-back-to-back singles for the Patriots. So runners at the corners for Tanner Lloyd and Dalton Todd, the 2 young men who are the power hitters in this lineup, each with 5 home runs this year. You go back to just recently, and Lewisburg has overcome deficits. Just a few games ago, they overcame a 3-run deficit to Lafayette. And it was exactly the guys that we've been talking about. Guys like Rudy Martin and Lowell Haney, the exact same guys that have gotten this thing started this inning. Here's the pitch. Evens the count. Lloyd 1 for 1, a double and a walk. Has been stranded on base twice. 5 hits now all of a sudden. More hits in this inning than the first 5 combined. Runner goes from first. Pitch comes in, a strike. Stolen base. Up there, going from first to second. I want to say that's Dinsford up at second base. Did not hear them call anybody else. Here's the pitch. This one is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ratliff from the windup. This one pulled all the way down towards the Patriot bullpen. 1 run, 5 hits, 5 errors for the Patriots. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Tornadoes. Swing and a miss. And that will be all for Lloyd. First out recorded in this inning. And here comes Dalton Todd. Bottom 5 in the order, a combined 0 for 10 this afternoon. Todd 0 for 2. Strikeout swing and a pop up to short. Fastball. Outside for ball 1. Ratliff has the side. Good looking pitch that time. Attacking inside. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one a called strike. 1-2. So Ratliff trying to settle in and find his rhythm. One-two pitch. Just about called strike 3. That was really good job of framing that pitch that time by Holcomb. He set up outside and just never moved his mitt. Count even. Pitch on the way. Ground ball, fair ball. It's going to play 2. Blazing out of the box is Todd. Good relay throw comes in, limiting Todd to a double, a 2 RBI double. And Todd has got tons of energy right now. 3 runs on 4 hits here in the 6th inning, and we can close the book on Joe Barrett. Gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, both earned. Struck out 7 and walked 1. So it's now with runner at second base, a 2-run game with Gabe Brown at the plate. Brown going to go over and talk to his skipper, Rusty Cagle, the third base coach. 3 runs now on 6 hits. Patriots have come alive here in the top of the 6th inning at just the right moment. Here's the pitch. Ball 1. That first pitch so important. Get ahead of the hitter and then being able to kind of do exactly what you need to do. But Ratliff has had a tough time getting that first pitch over for a strike. 1-0. There's ball 2. And that time Holcomb, who momentarily lost track of the baseball, never shed his face mask as you saw. Nearly got Todd off the bag at second. Ratliff needs a strike. Patriots need to keep this rally going. And it's Ratliff that got his wish. Two balls, 1 strike. The pitch. This one hit on the nose. Will it stay up? It will. Lined out to center field to Philip Lott racing in. Gabe Brown hit it on the nose, but he's 0 for 3 now this evening. And here comes Hunter Wilson, the DH. We'll have Hill Denson join us in the bottom of the 6th inning. Head baseball coach for Belhaven University. His team plays right in this ballpark. And so we'll talk about this ballpark, this venue, and this great tournament being here in the bottom of the 6th. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Count is now even. Hill, who has spent so many years in the coaching profession and It's Hill Denson Field down at Southern Miss, and has now been also here at Belhaven for many years and has taken them to the World Series. So perfect guy to be on the mic for some color commentary for what these coaches are going through, late game strategy, what they're trying to get accomplished. Now a 2-1 count. Runner at second. Very important run. And there's a strike called. Deuces across the scoreboard. And that runner at second, make it a one-run game. You can manufacture a run in a variety of ways. Harder to manufacture two. 2-2 pitch up and away. Count is full. So now with 2 outs, runner can move on contact. The pitch inside, ball 4, popped away. Runner going, throw down to third. The tag in time. Holcomb to Roseberry. Roseberry dove for Todd. Todd didn't realize that Holcomb had kept a beat on that baseball. What a game-changing play, perhaps. A 2-5 put out the force after the walk, and that ends the inning. But 3 runs on 4 hits, and there were no errors, and there was 1 left on base as we transition to the bottom of the 6th inning. We are joined now by Hill Denson, head baseball coach at Belhaven University. And Hill, we've been trying to get you in throughout this day, and what a perfect time to have you on. A 2-run ball game in the late innings. And Hill, when you look at what we're seeing right now, and especially that play right there, that's a play. Everything else that has happened in this game, that play right there, maybe trying to take a chance. Boy, trying to get this to a 1-run ball game, it's so much easier to manufacture a run. Just how big was that play?
Mighty big. They, you know, one of the cardinal rules in baseball is never make the first or the third out at third base, and you don't ever want to take that chance, and it happened. But I mean, it's hard to keep guys from doing it. You teach them all the time. They're trying to be aggressive on the bases. He sees the ball get away, and just didn't get away far enough. But can't take that chance. You know, you just got to third out at third base is a cardinal sin, and that happened to him, and it could very well cost him the ball game.
For you, coaching here at Belhaven, getting to play your home games on this field, what is a built-in home field advantage for you playing here on the field turf? What do you like about it so much? I know you are glad you don't have to drag the infield and water the infield and pull tarp, but aside from that, what gives you, do you think, the biggest advantage when you're comfortable playing on it?
Well, I don't really think it's a whole lot of advantage once a team's been out here and take around the infield, a little batting practice, see how the ball bounces. It's not much difference. The infield play is just like a normal infield. The only big difference is a ball that's coming down from a straight down trajectory, pretty high up, and it hits the ground. It's going to bounce high in the outfield like a hard, I tell everybody, like a hard outfield is what it does. And so that sometimes hurts a guy, run in and not quite get there, and then it bounces over the head. But rest of it's pretty normal. In fact, it's almost perfect. There's no bad hops in there, and you know, that's just it's great. All the visiting teams come in and absolutely love it, and all these teams that have been in here and practiced on it. One of the things they worry about so much is the mound, and I guarantee you, for the first 2 years we had the turf on the mound, I talked to the visiting teams every weekend when they come in here, and most of them would look at you like, I didn't even realize it was a different mound out there. But it's like a game mound that starts a game. There's no hole to dig out, and pitchers don't have to worry about adjusting that hole and digging it out like they do when somebody steps different from I do. So it's a great situation. It's absolutely perfect in my opinion. It's the only way to go. I think college baseball, we're about 20 years behind football in everything that happens in baseball, and pretty much all the football teams have gone to it now. Even the high schools have it, and I think 20 years down the line, all the college baseball will have this. I really do. And it's you don't have rainouts if you don't want to rain out.
Right.
It's you can play in the hardest rain there's ever been, and as soon as it quits raining, water's off of here in about 5 minutes, and you can play within 5 minutes after the rain. And it's something. We even tried to play a game during a pretty hard rain a couple of years ago. I thought we could keep on playing because the pitchers don't slip or anything. You don't slip out there after it's wet. But what What I didn't realize was the pitcher's hands were going to get wet, and they couldn't dry them off. Even between their legs started getting wet, and they couldn't dry their fingers off, and they started being able to not control the ball. So we had to suspend that game when we did that in about the 3rd inning. But it's just absolutely perfect.
Well, Hill Denson, the head coach of Belhaven University, you are, a Purvis team here. You spent so many years down in Hattiesburg at Southern Miss, a Purvis team that they play very good baseball. That was an uncharacteristic inning. A handful of pitches, 3 ground outs. We go to the top of the 7th for this finish, needing at least 2 runs are the Patriots. Before I let you go, though, you got the best opportunity of anybody in the country. You've got some of the best high school baseball anywhere on the planet right here on your doorstep. You get to walk out of your office and come out here and watch these guys, and some of these guys are going to be wearing Blazer uniforms one day.
Yeah, could be. I hope they do. We look forward to that. 2 or 3 of them particularly that we'd like to see in a Blazer uniform. But that's true. We get to see a lot of that. We have junior college tournaments here in the fall, and we get to see a lot of them that played right here. And, of course, there's college scouts and pro scouts and everybody else here. But, we do have that opportunity, and it's great for us, and we really enjoy it.
Do you, Hill, we got to let you go to get to this inning. Last thing, do you call and pick with some of your counterparts, though, about it? Having them right here in your home turf, do you pick on them a little bit about it?
Oh, yeah. I get to pick on them about between the batting practice time and the game time when they're out there dragging the field and watering it and all that kind of stuff. And here we're sitting there twiddling our fingers and just waiting on the game time to start. So that's what I really enjoy about it.
Hill, thanks so much for joining us. Hill Denson, head baseball coach at Belhaven University, as he's just really been enjoying this one. And as we're here on the top of the 7th inning, a 5-3 ball game. Lewisburg at the plate with the bottom of the order here due up against the reliever Ratliff. And here's the first pitch. Sharp ground to first, knocked down, and stepping on the bag over there is Lambeth. Boy, he knocked it down. It rolled off his body into foul territory. He scoops it up to get the out. And 1 up and 1 down here in the inning. And here comes Aaron Baker. So Taylor retired on the 1-3 ground out. Purvis needing 2 outs. Lewisburg needing at least 2 runs. Pitch coming in, a fastball strike. 0-1, 85 on that fastball from the left side. That's coming in pretty good. Baker 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Here's one turned on and pulled on, foul. So it's now 0-2. 0-2 pitch. That one outside. Looked good for the Purvis fans that are sitting behind the Purvis dugout on the first base side, but high and away. 1-2. Outside, 2-2. They're wanting a call that are just a couple of pitches that aren't strikes. And it's just Ratliff burning a couple pitches on an 0-2 count. That time brings it in, swing and a miss. Now it's up to Lyle Haney. And Haney, 2 for 3, 2 stolen bases, a run scored. This top 3 in the order went back-to-back-to-back hits in the 6th to get things started for Lewisburg. A first pitch strike, and now just 2 strikes away are the Patriots, or rather the Tornadoes, as the Patriots are trying to, with 2 strikes, get a base runner and bring the tying run to the plate. Again, it's about getting that tying run to the plate. At some point, they can do that with just the 1 base runner. Haney now ahead in the count, 2-1. Martin on deck, 1 for 3 with a single, a run batted in, and a run scored. Foul straight back, 2-2. And will the Purvis crowd rise to their feet? Some are. Just a handful, though, have. Ratliff. The pitch. Just missed. Called it up. Count is full. Boy, that was a pretty good pitch that time by Lane Ratliff. Better eye by Lyle Haney. Payoff pitch. inside, ball 4. Tying run comes to the plate in the top of the 7th inning. And if you would have asked Lewisburg in the 6th what they wanted, down by 5, they said an opportunity to bring the tying run to the plate at some point. And this opportunity comes in the form of sophomore Rudy Martin. The lefty against the lefty, Lane Ratliff. The pitch. Ratliff's got to find a way to settle in here. Ratliff looking for the save. Be his 2nd of the season. Now behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Ratliff, deep breath. Ball 3. Boy, how much did that call that Ratliff didn't get affect the last 4 pitches? After that call that could have ended the ball game, 4 straight balls, and I think that's what Holcomb is going out there and saying. Hey, bud, you got the 2 outs. Calm down. We need 1 out. Let your defense make a play. You don't have to be perfect. Throw strikes. That's what they've done all year. And there it is, outside corner, 3-1. If you had to put money on it, I would say there might be another strike here. Martin's got to swing. There it is, 3-2. That's exactly what Holcomb told him. Throw strikes. We don't overpower people. You don't have to get a strikeout. We just need an out. Lewisburg trying to keep it going. The pitch comes in, a ball. Boy, there's another one that was so close, and another great eye by a Patriot batter. Haney, the brilliant walk. Martin, the brilliant walk. The tying run is on base. The go-ahead run is at the plate in the form of Tanner Dinsford, who is 1 for 3, a single, a stolen base, and a run scored. And a strike comes in. Now, for the first time in a couple of batters, we see Ratliff working ahead in the count. The pitch up high, count evens. Ratliff just battling mentally out there right now. When you're not getting a call, or you think you're not, you've got to be mentally tough. Lewisburg looking for that perfect pitch. There's a good cut on a good pitch. And Lewisburg down to their final strike again. Ratliff trying to close it out. Lewisburg trying to at least tie this thing up. It's a nice little crowd here, but all of them are in the shade in the grandstand. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Tornadoes win it. The save for Ratliff, number 2 on the year. The win for Joe Barrett, he moves to 10-1. And the loss sends Tanner Dinsford to 7-5 on the season. 5 innings, 2 runs given up on 4 hits, 7 strikeouts in the ball game. And Purvis moves to 25-4. They've won 16 out of 17. Lewisburg sees their 12-game winning streak come to an end. A 4-run, 4-hit bottom of the first inning proved to be enough. Even with that, they would have won by 1 this afternoon. Final line looks like this: 3 runs on 6 hits, 5 errors for Lewisburg, 5 runs on 8 hits, no errors for Purvis. This could be a series that could go the distance. Again, I want to thank everybody who was with us, to Rick Cleveland, to also Hill Denson joining us. Great job by our cameras and our crew back in the truck. Again, for Todd Kelly, I'm Josh West saying so long until Lance Pittman joins you at 7 o'clock tonight for Madison Central and Oak Grove. I'm Josh West saying so long. You've been watching Play On Sports coverage along the MHSAA Network.